Right now, somewhere in your body, an alarm might be going off. Not the kind you can hear, the kind you can only feel, a quiet ache, a pull toward your phone, your friends, anyone. You call it loneliness. But what if that feeling isn't a flaw in you at all? What if it's one of the oldest warning systems your body has ever built? For most of human history, being alone wasn't just uncomfortable, it was dangerous. A person separated from their group had no one to watch their back at night, no one to share food during a bad season, no one to help if a predator came close or an injury turned bad. Survival depended on staying connected, and your brain knew it. So your ancestors evolved a signal, a feeling designed to do one simple thing: pull you back toward other people before it was too late. That feeling never went away. You still have it. You just call it something else now. In the 2000s, a researcher named John Cacioppo spent decades studying loneliness at the University of Chicago. He didn't just ask people how they felt. He looked at what loneliness did inside the body. And what he found was startling. Chronic loneliness raised blood pressure. It disrupted sleep. It increased levels of stress hormones, the same hormones your body releases when it senses physical danger. Your brain, in other words, treats social disconnection the same way it treats a threat in the wild. Think about that for a second. Hunger tells you your body needs food. Thirst tells you it needs water. Pain tells you something is damaged. Loneliness, according to Cacioppo's research, works the exact same way. It's not an emotion floating on top of your biology. It is your biology. Here's where it gets stranger. Loneliness doesn't just feel bad. It changes how you see the world. Cacioppo's studies found that lonely people become more vigilant, more alert to social threats, more likely to interpret a neutral face as unfriendly or a delayed text as a sign of rejection. Why would evolution do that to you? Because if your ancestors found themselves isolated from the group, the smartest thing their brain could do was assume danger was close. Heightened alertness kept them cautious until they reconnected. It was protective. It was supposed to be temporary, but here's the twist almost no one talks about. That ancient alarm system was built for a world where being alone was rare, and reconnecting was fast. If you wandered too far from the group, you'd notice the discomfort. Walk back, and the feeling would fade within hours. The alarm did its job and switched off. Modern life doesn't work that way. You can feel deeply isolated while living in a city of millions. You can scroll through hundreds of faces a day and still feel completely unseen. The alarm goes off, but there's no simple walk back to the fire. So the alarm just stays on. And an alarm that never turns off stops being protective. It starts being damaging. This is where another piece of the puzzle comes in. In 1958, a psychologist named Harry Harlow ran a series of experiments on infant monkeys. He separated baby monkeys from their mothers and gave them a choice between two artificial replacements. One was made of bare wire but dispensed food. The other was covered in soft cloth but offered nothing to eat. The monkeys chose the cloth mother, almost every time. Even when they were hungry, they would cling to the soft, comforting figure, only briefly leaving to feed from the wire one before rushing back. Harlow's experiment shocked the scientific world at the time because it suggested something radical. Connection wasn't a luxury layered on top of survival needs. For social creatures, it was close to a survival need itself. You are, biologically speaking, a deeply social creature. Your brain was shaped by hundreds of thousands of years where the group was the difference between life and death. So when you feel that pull to check your phone, to message someone, to just not be alone in this moment, that's not weakness. That's an ancient mechanism, still running, still trying to keep you safe. But there's a catch, and it's a big one. Not all connection counts the same. A landmark study led by researchers Julianne Holt-Lundstad, Timothy Smith, and Bradley Layton analyzed data from over 300,000 people and found that strong social relationships were linked to a dramatically lower risk of early death, comparable to quitting smoking. But the key word in their research was relationships. Real ones. Not contact, not notifications, not a feed of strangers. Your ancient alarm system doesn't know the difference between a text and a hug. But your nervous system does. Scrolling through 100 updates from people you barely know can feel like connection in the moment. It gives your brain just enough of a signal to quiet the alarm temporarily, but it doesn't deliver what the system was actually built to seek. So the alarm dims for a few minutes, then creeps back louder than before. This is why you can spend hours online surrounded by other people's lives and somehow end up feeling more alone than when you started. Your ancestors never had this problem. If they were near their group, they were near their group. There was no version of near, but not really. No performance of connection without the substance of it. Your alarm system was never designed to be tricked, but it can be. So what does this mean for you today in a world your biology never expected? It means the discomfort you feel when you're isolated isn't something to push away or numb. It's information. It's your body, doing exactly what it has done for hundreds of thousands of years, trying to tell you something simple. You need people, not an audience, not a feed, people. It also means the fix isn't more contact. It's better contact. A short, real conversation with someone who knows you can quiet that ancient alarm in a way that 100 passive scrolls never will. There's something almost comforting in this if you sit with it. That ache you feel sometimes isn't proof that something is wrong with you. It's proof that something in you still works exactly as it was designed to after all this time. Your ancestors built fires, not because the fire itself mattered, but because of who gathered around it. The warmth was secondary. The faces were the point. You still carry that. Underneath the notifications, the screens, the noise, there is a system in you that is older than language, older than agriculture, older than almost everything you'd call modern. And it is still, quietly, asking for the same thing it always has. So the next time that feeling shows up, the pull, the ache, the quiet alarm, maybe don't reach for your phone first. Maybe reach for someone instead. Because that feeling was never a flaw. It was never something broken inside you. It was a signal, the same signal your ancestors felt around a dying fire, in an empty cave, on a long walk home. And it's still doing exactly what it was built to do. It's not telling you that something is wrong with you. It's telling you to come back to the fire. Follow to learn more.